Hi there, I'm Suzanne, and welcome to the Cosmic Fuel Pump, where we are dispensing juicy fuel to energize the Garden of Eden. We're going to be talking more and more about that every week. We've already talked a little bit about it. The Garden of Eden being my experiment in my house with how we can be absolutely ideal, absolutely happy, absolutely ecstatic, and more than that, how we can stay alive. We're going to be talking on this show a lot about the urgency of the situation that we're in. The time is now. I want to start by reading you something wonderful to tell you a little bit about how we're doing it in our particular Garden of Eden. Remove the sting, remove the whine, remove the sigh. They are your enemies. They are never conducive to happiness. And we all live to gain happiness, to give happiness. From every word, remove the sting. Speak kindly. To speak kindly and gently to everybody is the mark of a great soul, and it is your privilege to be a great soul. From the tone of your voice, remove the whine. Speak with joy. Never complain. The more you complain, the smaller you become, and the fewer will be your friends and opportunities. Speak tenderly, speak sweetly, speak with love. From all the outpourings of your heart, remove the sigh. Be happy and contented always. Let the spirit sing. Let your heart dance. Let your soul declare the glory of existence. For truly, life is beautiful. Every sigh is a burden, a self-inflicted burden. Every whine is a maker of trouble, a forerunner of failure. Remove the sting. Remove the whine. Remove the sigh. They are not your friends. There is better company waiting for you. Well, if you come to my house, most of the time you find better company. And we're really intentional about it. We're looking at how we can actually live so that these are not just abstractions that we know in our heads, but so that they're our everyday reality. You know, the time is now for us to get it, that there isn't any time to sit and study and be able to write nice essays and be able to spout philosophies, while at the same time we don't practice what we preach. The time is now for us to come out of a reality in which we think we can be good by appointment. Oh, I think I'll meditate now. I'll tune into God now. How about tuning into God all the time? Or whatever you call it. Tuning into your spirit, which is everybody's spirit, which is the place from which we source peace on earth. You know, we don't have time anymore, truly, to meander about this. This is an urgent situation on our planet. There's a wonderful quote from one of the Don Juan books, Carlos Castaneda. In a world where death is the hunter, my friend, there's no room for doubts or regrets. There's only time for decisions. We have to move, and we have to move in a positive way. And, you know I sit, when you go to peace rallies or you do all the appropriate things, you send your money to the right causes, and yet the world goes on in this inexorable pace of cruelty to one another. Cruelty to one another ultimately reflected in Holocaust. We don't seem to be taking it very seriously, that in fact it has to be immediate. Suffering is optional. That was good. We don't have to suffer anymore. We have to find the ways to come from that heartfelt place within us where we are so much heart that that's all there is. And we are that with one another so much so that suffering, why would anybody do that? In my house, which we're going to be talking a lot about in subsequent weeks, we have currently 5 adults, 2 babies, my teenage twins, about whom my husband said when they were born, "Can't you do anything ordinary?" We have a cat. Yesterday we had a dead rat, but he doesn't live there anymore. And this little group is, well, what you'll be doing from week to week now is tuning in on our soap opera. It will be the episodes, our weekly episodes, in what's going on as we try to feel into how to take these words, take these principles, and really make them manifest so that we don't even have to think about them. So we don't have to go around saying, how can I be nice today, or how can I do something good, or what project can we do that's good? No, our project is life itself, every moment. And I have a guest today. I had a guest last week, which is Kenny, who lives in my house. My guest this week is Alice, who also lives in my house. I asked Alice what last name she wanted me to use. She used to be an actress, and she's a wife, and then she has her regular last name. And we decided it was too many last names. Look, Adam and Eve didn't have last names, did they? So this is just Alice, who lives in my house, and I'd like you to meet her now.
Hi.
Hi there, Alice.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine. This is one of my favorite things to do. What better thing is there to do? Alice, I wanted us to get into some sense of, as we've been talking this week in the house about the urgency of all of this. Right now. And how can we wake ourselves up? And the conversation that we started to have that I wanted to continue to have on camera here about at the same time as there is this, I don't even know what word to use. It's like, what can we say that makes it serious enough for everybody to say, yes? You know, but at the same time that we have to be able to get the urgency, we have to be the love and the peace. We can't walk around frantic and tearing our hair.
We have to flow with it.
We have to flow. Well, we have to surrender to it, yes? Mm-hmm. We have to surrender to reality, which is one of the affirmations we used on this show, and allow everything to be there. Mm-hmm. The theory that I have about how, when you get down to the nitty-gritty of exactly how do you stay at peace and at the same time stay prepared and stay ready to take it on, is keeping our hearts open.
That's true. That's what you did with me the other day. You kept your heart open.
Oh, are you going to tell personal stories?
Not personal stories, but just keeping your heart open. It's very important. Allowing things to fall into your lap and open your heart to them.
Well, the truth, what Alice is talking about is an incident where actually I got upset. Alice had not prepared the sauce for the chicken. And I went out and did all my errands. I even bought carpeting. And I came back to use the sauce, and the sauce wasn't there.
And I hit the wall.
Alice! I hit the wall, right. Alice! And I didn't really know what was going on with Alice. And I just was on jangle, Well, what I discovered what was going on with Alice is that Alice was in crisis.
Yeah. And Suzanne opened her heart. She stopped. She evaluated the situation, and she opened her heart to it. It was just an automatic thing. I've never seen anyone do that before. It was an automatic opening of the heart.
Well, one of the things that I get is that when we say keep your heart open, in a way that's not exactly the right word. No. But we have to speak in, short.
Right.
But it's like when you hit those walls, we're human beings, we shut down. But to me, it's not so much keeping my heart open that's the secret as knowing that life's about keeping my heart open. So that when I hit my wall, I know I can't stay there.
Right.
I inside the little computer's going click, 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 click. Not in right place, not in right place. What next? At the same time as I'm impacted by, the problematicness of it. Mm-hmm. So what happens is, of course, in our Garden of Eden, that living with people like Alice, who also knows the nature of the game, the nature of the dance, right? So that when I hit the wall, well, even in the middle of crisis, Alice doesn't go, and I say, Alice, she doesn't go, Suzanne, which is what most of us do with one another. One person gets mad, the other person gets mad back. As long as we're both holding this larger awareness.
Remember we were talking about spinning off on the spiral. You can either spin off on the negative spiral or spin off on the positive spiral. If you decide to open your heart, then you just move with the dance and you go with the flow and you open your heart and you accept that this person is in a crisis and you do something to remedy it instead of getting mad at them because they didn't make the chicken and do the sauce.
Right, you recognize that you start from love.
Exactly.
That the ground of being you come from is open heart. In other words, life's not about, keep opening my heart. Life's about my heart stays open.
And yielding to peace.
Yes, with one another, so that love is the ground of being that we stand on. I love you so much, Alice.
I love you too, Suzanne.
I tell you, Alice, you see, I can hardly say it. Every time I see you, I want to just put my arms around you.
It's such a wonderful feeling to have, too. And we want to invite everyone to come and enjoy it, too.
Not at the same time.
Not at the same time. Maybe 3 or 4. We have to build the room additions on first.
No, we still can't have them all, Alice.
Oh, no.
Actually, what would just cheer me no end would be if this show would be the kind of forum where people could tune in and see how we're doing it in our Garden of Eden. And heaven knows, visit us.
Really?
We'd love to have you.
Or send
And
for the notes.
send for the notes, right? We keep a diary on what we're doing. And if you send, and you'll see my name and address flash at the end. Get your pencils now. And if you call me up or write to me, we'll send you a copy, our nickel, of a very edited and carefully, worked over version so that you understand exactly what's going on in our house, which we think of as a microcosm for the world.
Exactly.
So that if we're experimenting with the Garden of Eden, and you can pick up on our experiment, how about you and your friends?
Oh,
How about you and your friends really just attempting your own experiments, and then we can have our experiments be in touch with one another. We can come to your parties. You can come to our parties. Yeah.
We can have a great time.
Right. You haven't seen the show yet because it hasn't been on the air yet, but we talk about Suzanne parties. And if you'd like, actually, my friends and I will come to your parties, time and space willing. See, maybe you live in the Bahamas. That would be wonderful.
That would be
And
great.
send us the plane tickets. Love to come. If you're rich, it would be worth your while. It would be the best thing that ever happened to your party. And we come and show our tape and just be ourselves and invite you into these understandings so we can remove stings and whines and, be loving with one another.
And open our hearts.
And open our hearts.
Keep them open.
Right. Do we have any more to say about that sword's edge? I think of it as the warrior stance. Don Juan talked about that a lot in his books, that the warrior stance is, of what the warrior stance is. Right. And my sense is it's being able to hold these really impossible things at the same time. What a hero it is to be able to fight the good fight, but have it be in total peace, Mm-hmm. Whoa!
Oh, that relates to what Einstein was saying
we're going to come
in one
to
of our quotes.
Right,
yeah.
We're going to read you that later. Right. This perfect peace, again, going down, it's interesting to try to find out where do these things come from. Mm-hmm. One thing is, do this, remove this thing. How do I do that, Well, my sense of going down into the source, where I'm coming from, that's myself, totally myself, where I'm coming from that's not dependent on what's happening, is this knowing that the world is all about me.
It's true. It's all about all of us. We're all the same.
Well, that's true too.
Same spirit.
Ain't it? And at the same time, it's like that world that we live in where we want other people to do what we want them to do because that will please us, has got to be subjected to another bigger world, which is, yes, it would be nice if they pleased us, but that's not what it's about. What it's about is this becoming peaceful within oneself so that it doesn't matter, so you could be anywhere. Think of some awful place.
And you be peaceful within yourself.
Right. And knowing that's the dance, knowing that's the point. You can't get there if you don't know that's the point because it's not exactly, quote, natural, But it's urgent.
I think that it's urgent that we hold ourselves in center, that we don't stray from our path, that we keep it constantly, like people do mantras all the time, and they try and keep mantras going on all the time in their mind. But just keep our heart open all the time and be able to be the lap and be able to accept whatever comes into our lap and be able to deal with it properly. And yet if you don't like what comes into your lap, be able to be righteous about it, but not, be mean or harsh, but be able to accept it and accept it for what it is and move on.
And tell the truth about
Exactly. Tell the truth.
If somebody's doing something you don't like, it isn't like, oh, keep doing it to me.
Exactly.
It's like, hey, I don't like that. But it's not, I don't like that with some kind of real, animosity.
It's a very peaceful stance.
Right. Alice, you are incredibly wonderful. One of the real, epitomes. I hope the shot is on you now because your face is all glowing. Because it's the truth. I even notice that one of your automatic phrases that you use that you probably aren't, real cognizant of is, you always say, no bother.
Don't worry.
No bother. And you mean that. It's like, there's nothing I can ask you to do or whatever that you won't probably answer me with, no bother.
And it's not. I love to do things for people.
Well, I love that about you. I wrote about that in the notes.
Did you?
Yeah. Where you just get off on being kind.
It's fun.
How's it feel? Tell me about it. Tell everybody.
When I first was listening to the Moody Blues album, and they were saying things like, all the love you've been giving has all been meant for you. And I went, well, wait a minute. if all this love I was giving has all been meant for me, the more I give out, the more I get. The more I be of service to people, the more people will be of service to me. But yet not keeping that track of mind for that's why I want to do it.
It's just obvious.
It's just obvious. And the role that comes off of it is just such a beautiful dance, and the choreography is wonderful. And I do things for you, you do things for me. Soon it's the weekend again and we're doing Suzanne's show, and it's everything just turns out wonderful.
Call to find out when the Cosmic Fuel Pump will be on next week, and call or write if you want me to send you a copy of my written note.